Hello and welcome to another episode of Obsidian Extra Life. I'm your host, player sports specialist Chris Stanick, joined by my special guest who is not actually in my vicinity as I look left and right. I'm joined remotely by our assistant technical animator, Amy Maitre, who you may remember was a guest last season as an intern, but has leveled up. Yeah. Congratulations. How does it feel to not be an intern anymore?
It hasn't changed much, so I think that's a good thing, right?
I mean, yeah, but don't you feel like it's the real
I
deal now? Like,
Yeah, I feel more like integrated into the company, but
mm,
in terms of like workload, pretty much doing the same thing as an intern. So I guess you could say I would felt like I was actually treated like a part of the team during my internship rather than just
just someone
there.
there that's just to do
Yeah.
busy work or something, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I think that's really good though, because, people have this perception of internships, right, where it's like, oh, well, I'm just going to be doing busy work or running
hmm
errands and doing this. I'm not really, maybe once in a while I'll get to work on like the main project or just get a peek at it, right? But
Yeah.
that's kind of the opposite here, right? You were in the sauce,
Yeah, exactly.
which is cool because then when you're actually, you're full time and you're passing internship, you're already ready to go, right?
Yeah, I basically kept the same task that I had over the internship, and I think there was only like a 2-day separation. The
Hmm.
day they gave me enough time to fly back to Florida, and then I think I started the next day.
We need technical animation, Amy. If we could have had it on the plane, we would have taken. That's great, though. That's always awesome when folks go through the internship program and then end up being full time with the studio.
hmm
And from the time I've spent with you the last time and talking to you, it's a boon for all of us. So I think that's great. You're playing a game, Hi-Fi Rush, today? A
Yes, I
fun rhythm
am.
game that got dropped on us last week, I believe, or the week before.
Yeah, it's something like that. I've been hearing good things about it, so I wanted to try it on. I thought, why not play it during streaming?
Yeah, it's a great game. And then also we are going to be here still raising money for the CHIDS, the Children's Hospital of Orange County. We'll have some donation incentives up top. I'll be the one participating in jelly beans conveniently. Maybe because I didn't let Amy know. Maybe because Amy didn't want to eat gross jelly beans. It's really up to you. But we'll go ahead and jump in the game, and then why don't you just tell us a little bit of recap about you and yourself while we get started?
Yeah, so I'm a assistant technical animator here at Obsidian. I started here with an internship last summer. I do a lot of skinning work and just like some reviews for like rigs and skinning, and that's pretty much what I do here at the company.
And rigs is like the skeleton, right?
Yeah, the
The
rigs
the
are.
frame of the character or creature or object
hmm
too, right? Objects animate.
Yeah, exactly.
Since we've already kind of talked to Amy about the things she does here, we're not gonna retouch on those. So if you have questions for Amy now, feel free to ask them in the chat, and I will ask her. Oh, here we go. Essential Simon's got a question for you. What's the hardest task since moving on from internship? Is there anything that they're like, okay, now you're ready for this super hard thing?
Mm,
Or you're
kind of
just
gotta
so good, you're
think.
like, ain't nothing.
No, I think like not specifically a task, but I guess the harder thing is trying to ramp up to a good pacing of what's expected for like an assistant level versus an intern, since kind of intern level you come in with maybe probably not that much knowledge or just experience in general.
Mm-hmm.
So once I've been there, I was there for 3 months prior, so um just trying to keep up with expectations and not slowing down productivity. I think that's what was the hardest thing, and it's something I'm still working on, but I think I've definitely um have gotten better with that though.
Yeah, I think that's another thing is just adjusting to like a little bit heavier workload. But
hmm
have there been any challenges since you were in office before and then you are remote for now?
um like if there were any challenges while I was in person
Yeah,
versus.
like if there's anything, any blockers or stuff like that, or it's just pretty much the same. You're just not around the people.
Yeah, it's pretty much the same. I have a giant backlog of tasks, so I'm never running out of tasks. I think just the difference is just missing out on the social activities and being there and bonding with people. So, for example, like not being able to be there for Cheese Club or even Bagel Wednesdays,
Oh
because
yeah.
that was a good way to get my breakfast in, get some fruits and a bagel. So yeah, just the sociability of being able to hang out with people.
Yeah, and it's weird when there's so many like people work at work and you're like, oh yeah, these are my coworkers, but like I don't want to hang out with them. But I want to be honest, I hang out with a lot of people that work here. Like I think the people here is one of the best parts, honestly. And you saying like that you miss out on that kind of touches on that as well. Man, you're doing good.
Yeah. I hope so. I died twice already.
Yeah, those were that's for simulation. It's for enhanced danger for the stream. We all do it. I was looking at this and it appears like it's not 2D flat, but it has that cell shaded style, right?
Yeah.
Do you think there's inherently any other challenges to this style of 3D animation rigging compared to like more traditional, where it's the style is based in not realism per se, but in like a physical space that's not a cartoon?
Yeah. The rigging is going to be pretty much the same, but I do think because it's cell shaded, you're going to expect more of a cartoony squash and stretch and like type of animation. So if you're trying to do this type of cell shaded, but like everything is rigid and all the animations are realistic, it's probably gonna feel super stiff. Like I expect this to be more of a like fun and bright and bouncy type of game, especially like because it's even more so because it's cell shaded.
Yeah. Do you think because of the kind of like the existing way that they could pull from classic animation that they're doing some of those same techniques but in the 3D space?
Like traditional 2D animation?
Yeah. I forget, there's a term like where it's not a wipe, it's like an F word, it's flat. Where it's like something like blurs together and then comes back. The word's on the tip of my tongue.
Are you talking about smear?
Smear, yes, smear.
Oh, okay.
So do you think some of those techniques come into play in this space, even though it's 3D?
Yeah, like this right here. The I know that it's like a VFX, right, with the streaks. Yeah. But also, I'm pretty sure. I mean, I could be wrong because I'm not seeing this in slow motion. But I know that you can do 3D smear, so there's a chance that some part, like his body, like it might not just be VFX.
Okay, it could be part of the model.
Yeah, the model could also be stretching and smearing to give that smear effect. That was actually something that I was looking into for the contract that I did a few years ago. The company did actually want to do smear frames, and I kind of modeled a separate piece on the inside of a mesh that if the person, I did not know that was gonna be a chain reaction. But yeah, if the animator on the project wanted to use the piece that I put on the inside to use as a smear frame, they could. But at the time when I was looking into it, there wasn't really much YouTube tutorials or information about smear frames. But I think with more games doing the 3D cel shaded, there's probably a lot more information on how to like accomplish it and whatnot.
Because the only other game I played, well, there's probably Auto Modelista, which is a racing game, and then Beautiful Joe. Beautiful Joe was 2D, but they were 3D models. Like it was presented 2D. It was like a comic book style, and you could slow down and speed up time and stuff like that. Cool. And this reminds me of that in the style of it. And that felt very cartoony in that sense.
All this talk about cel shaded makes me want to see if like Spider-Man into the Spider-Verse game comes out. That'd be really cool.
I mean, watching that movie, it takes a minute to get used to, right, when you're watching it,
Yeah.
because it's at like a lower frame rate, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then, but that fits so well for the idea of like this. It's like a comic book / animation.
Yeah.
It's one of my top 3 favorite movies, and that was weird to say when it just came out. I was like, this is it's a really really good movie.
It is.
And it just happened to be animated. We have a question from Globe Gamer. Is it harder to animate in first person or third person, and why?
Ooh, I wouldn't know. Because first person would mean that like you can't see, you're not really seeing your character, right?
Really, just like hands, feet occasionally, and weapon animations mostly.
I think me just taking a guess at it, because the first and third person rigs would essentially be the same rig. It's just that obviously the first person, I guess depending on the studio, I don't really know how that works.
Mm-hmm.
But at least, for example, the arms are going to stay the same, right? So if you're in first person, you see the arms, but in third person, you see the whole bodies. But it's going to share the same rig and animations, essentially. So I think I don't think you reanimate for first person. I think you just reuse the animations that you already made for third person, and you just modify what is being seen.
Yeah, because I mean, it's really more about the camera, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because I mean, depending on how the rig is done, like I mean, I guess it could just be floating arms if they weren't ever gonna like use gameplay and go to like a cutscene, right, integrated into it. So I guess it probably would be the same.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it could be different too. I'm
could
not
be different.
I'm not 100% sure.
Could be, but we're thinking it's probably the same.
Oh.
And I feel like you being more of an expert on this than I makes our argument a little more solid. I don't know if these both apply, but do you prefer mocap or keyframe animation?
I've actually never worked with mocap, so I wouldn't know. It's something that I'd be really interested in, like, experiencing and getting my hands on it, because it seems pretty, I don't know if, I guess it depends on you as an animator whether you want to put the suit on or the tech on to capture the data, or just have someone else. But it seems pretty cool that most of the information is gonna be like transported into the computer for you with like a basic foundation of the animation, rather than you doing it yourself.
Yeah, I mean, I think I imagine mocap animation is more like you're just kind of tweaking the frames, like, or adjusting things, right? The in-between stuff to make it translate to the game or however it needs to. Because like it does seem like the technology for it's gotten pretty advanced, where, you know, before just like, oh, look at the little skeleton, we're making a move, and now it's, you know, it's pretty, facial animation's really intense with that. All those dots. I mean, I don't know what it means. Do you know what they mean? The dots?
The dots, I think it's just points, like more points to I guess read the motions.
Yeah, maybe like anchors to then be able to move and adjust.
Yeah. I think it's something like that.
What kind of tools do you use to skin characters?
We just like the usual tools. Like, am I allowed to say?
I mean, what tool
What
we
program
use?
what program we use? Is that a secret?
We use Unreal, right?
Okay, I'm sure everybody knows that most people, like most companies, use Maya. Like that's B3D.
You can say that. You can totally say that.
I was like,
I'm
that's
sorry.
B3D.
I was like, oh my God, is there something new that we should be talking about?
No, yeah, I'm like, can I say that we use Maya? Like the pretty much the program that most companies use.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yes, I just use Maya, and I don't use really any extra tools. It's just the native paint, like skin weight tool.
Didn't you create a script for yourself though?
Oh yeah, I did make my own script for not for spinning, but for creating the controllers, which it's just gonna create the circles around the joints and connect them to the joints, as opposed to me going in by hand and doing them.
So your script is just looking for where two joints meet, and then it'll add a controller there?
Yeah, so I basically I grab all the joints and run the script, and basically the script is like, oh, well, here's the list of joints that we have selected, and then going through every single joint, I want you to do this thing, and then at the very end, make sure you say this controller is for this joint, and it just
Mhm.
repeats that for every single joint. And then I just go in and change the shapes to whatever I like them to be.
Okay. So then you're doing some programming in your tools as well. So, with it being February and we're celebrating Black History Month, I was wondering if you had any thoughts to how you feel about being a black woman in this industry and what you look to achieve while you're here.
I think it's like I always kind of like think back, not think back, but sometimes I have moments where I'm just thinking like, wow, I can't believe I'm where I'm at, and especially in a tech field at that, and a position that's very high in demand, but there's not many people to fill the positions and whatnot. So it feels really good being here and knowing that I could be an inspiration to someone else who might be looking into getting into this field. And knowing that, hey, I look like her. Is this something I can actually do?
Mm-hmm.
And then just opening that door for someone who might have not realized that this is a path that they can take.
Yeah, that's an interesting point. Like you make about like saying, "Oh, I didn't think I could do this," or "This was a path," because I mean, I don't. I mean, I didn't really think I would be here in that sense either. And it's like maybe that's not being promoted at like at school levels, right? And the stuff like the careers like all that are available to people. And I think I really like that you brought up that you could be an inspiration to somebody, because I think that's important for having younger kids to look up to something and somebody to aspire to.
Yeah, it is. It is important.
What have you been playing lately?
Oh, my friends will tell you, and I'm sure they're in here. I have about over 500 hours in Splatoon 3.
Wow. That is a lot of hours.
It is a lot of hours.
There's no judgment, because I've got hundreds and thousands of hours in certain games as well. Is it just like, what is it about Splatoon 3 that has grabbed your attention so well?
I think so. I'm not like too great at shooter games just in general. But I love Splatoon a lot, and I think it might be mainly because it's so motion control based. I grew up with just Nintendo systems. I didn't really own. I have never owned an Xbox or a PlayStation or any of the hardware from either of the companies.
We're gonna need to cut that part. Just joking.
I mean, I have a PC, right? Like,
Just joking.
I can still play the game. But I always wanted them.
Go ahead, sorry. Yeah.
I always wanted them, but my mom told me no. So,
damn it, Mom.
It's like, you already have a DS. I'm not getting you another thing.
That's fair. I'm getting that way too. I get it.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you have kids of your own?
I have a 7-year-old, and I'm like, hey man, you got all these toys that you don't play with anymore. Maybe we either get rid of some and then you get some more, or you start using them again. So
I
can't
have them all.
Can't have it all, and you can't have everything at once. I'm almost to that point. I was looking in my office this morning. I have a machine that can play old Nintendo games, Famicom, Super Nintendo, and Sega Genesis. And I have Super Nintendo cards and NES cards, a computer, a Steam Deck, a Switch, both Xboxes, PlayStation. I have too many games. I don't even have time to play them all. But I have them. Why?
The key is to play one game for over thousands of hours, and then you'll never have to buy any other console.
It's true.
Or any other game.
It's true. I did that for the last 3 years, and then I need a break from that game. So now I'm back to what's the next game. So Splatoon 3, it was like, you're saying it was, you hadn't played a motion control kind of shooter.
Yeah, and so it was the very first time that I've played a shooter and I was actually really good at it, and I think
Mhm.
that's mainly because of the motion controls. It's really fun. It's super fast paced. Um, I think they do a really good job with movement. So it's not just about just you shooting ink. The whole movement mechanic of Splatoon is a very important part of the game.
Mhm.
So just everything just feels like super fluid and it's fun and just like quick and zippy, bouncy and whatnot.
Yeah.
And I just think it's such a really unique IP.
It's a fun
Um,
idea, a fun twist on shooters, right? Because it's not about player
Exactly.
elimination; it's about area control.
hmm And you can still do like the whole player elimination too, because that's still important. Because if
Mhm.
you don't get rid of them, then you know you can't really control your turf as well. So you want to make sure you have more people on your team versus their team.
Yep.
And they also have a PvE mode as well,
Uh,
that I find really fun. It's ranked, so it increases difficulty the higher rank that you go.
Mhm.
And I think like my boyfriend doesn't like it. I love it because I like challenges. And like my brain works kind of in a puzzle.
Okay.
So in my head it's like, okay, PvE, I gotta figure out like what's the best strategy to defeat these lessers and get the big bosses and also get the quota for the round and everything like that.
Mhm.
But, yeah, very addicting.
Yep. SFX Acidic, thank you for the $10. It looks like I'm gonna eat a gross jelly bean by myself. I've been getting really lucky, so this could be another delicious one. Thank you from the Chids.
Which flavor is it?
I think it's just bubblegum. Yeah. I just got
Ooh,
legit
nice.
bubblegum. I'm on like a 3-bean streak of them not being gross. I'm
Are you sure that they're not just regular
I mean,
jelly beans?
I'll open another new bag if people want me to. I mean, I'm not swapping it. So we talked about Zelda being your favorite series, right? Is there a game series that you've heard about that you really want to play but you haven't played yet?
Is there?
There's gotta be.
Well, like I guess like upcoming. So I've never played a Bayonetta game, but I know they're making that Cereza,
Yep.
the newly announced one.
Yep.
That's coming out soon. That looks really fun to play, so I wanted to get my hands on that.
You gotta shoot
But-
again.
Oh yeah, whoops! I'm like waiting.
Oh no!
How did I fall?
I don't know.
Oh, I forgot that you can move.
Did she push you?
With... No, you can move without her.
Oh,
I forgot
yeah.
that was a thing. So I kind of walked off.
I think she pushed you. I saw it. Peppermint's got a bad attitude.
Ooh, there's my ride.
Okay, you got this.
Forgot it. Where am I supposed to? Oh, was I supposed to go?
You're good.
Oh.
I think you're. Oh no, yeah. Now you're bad.
Whoops. But any like older games? I don't know.
Like a Yakuza, a Persona.
Dang.
Maybe you never played a Final Fantasy.
I kind of get my fill of that from watching my boyfriend play those games.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I think it's also because like growing up of like watching people play games, I got so used to that that there's only a few games that I'll pick up on my own and play, but I do just in general enjoy watching other people play games. Yeah, so that's probably why like when it comes to those games, I'm not like, oh, I want to get those myself. It's like if I've seen someone play it,
You've
it's
already
enough for
kind of
me to
experienced it.
yeah, I've experienced it. Yeah.
Do you watch a lot of streams then for that to be like, oh, I'm not gonna play this, but I sure could watch someone play it?
Yeah, that's what I do. I watch Markiplier. I used to watch Jacksepticeye, but it's mainly Markiplier. If I know there's a game that I'm super interested in, but I don't have, let's say the console for it, if it's like console restricted. If I have a feeling that Markiplier is playing it, I'd just go watch him.
Gotcha. I like to watch Eric.
Who's Eric?
Eric's our community manager.
Oh, I thought you meant like a streamer. I was like, I've never heard of that streamer before.
Any suggestions on working with technical artists? Like, what do you find most helpful for your coworkers?
I think being like just the collaboration aspect. So like brainstorming ideas. So if it's me and my other tech art colleagues, being able to brainstorm how to fix a issue and then just coming together and putting our ideas together is very helpful. And then also working with animators too is very important. So being able to speak with the animator that might be using the rig, and just asking them for feedback, like, hey, what are some features you want, or is this kind of the idea that you wanted, like in terms of like how the creature or the character deforms, or how squishy or how rigid they are. That's also helpful. So I think just in general, just being communicative with your fellow tech artist or animator.
So really it's, yeah, like you're saying, clearly communicating of like your wants and needs, and also being confident enough to ask for feedback and accept that feedback.
Yeah. Because you want to make something and then have completely you and your fellow tech artist or your animator, you guys just had different ideas of what that thing was supposed to be. And then now you got to go back in
Like
and do more work
where our wires got crossed, right? Like,
yeah.
That's a good point. Yes, Chai Chai's not the robot. 808.
Yeah.
Chai's the guy. Yeah, 808 is a cool robot. Also, Chai is, I like Chai as a name. Oliver's like, call him Oliver. He wants to be like him. He's like, our hair's the same. I'm like, no, it's not, but okay, buddy.
Well, clearly, Chai stole Oliver's hairstyle.
I mean, I didn't want to bring that up, but I'm going to flip it to you, Amy. Do you want to ask me or Eric any question, since you've been answering all these questions?
Are you guys looking forward to any upcoming games?
Wild Hearts.
Yes, that looks really cool. I'm looking forward to Dark and Darker leaving early access. I mean, going into early access. And then there was a big game too, though. Oh no, Dead Space came out. That's been really fun. I'm waiting. Oh, I'm looking forward to Silk Song, the follow-up to Hollow Knight.
Oh yeah, that was really cool.
Yes.
I haven't played Hollow Knight, but I do have a few friends that's their favorite games. I've watched them play.
It's one
so
of
I want to see them play the new one.
Yeah, it's one of the best Metroidvanias I've ever played, and it's just a great game.
Oh, and Like a Dragon, you should.
Oh yes,
boy.
That was the other one.
So excited.
Samurai Yakuza.
Yep.
That's gonna be really good. What are even though we flipped it back to us, now I'm curious. What are games that you're looking forward to besides Tears of the Kingdom?
Yeah, I've never played Pikmin before.
Okay.
Because I never owned any of the I don't know where I'm supposed to go, honestly.
I think you gotta find one more
Oh, I
valve.
see. I think there's a magnet up there that I'm supposed to grapple to.
Oh, I think you might be right.
I've never played Pikmin, but I know that Pikmin 4 is coming out. It looks so good, and they added a lot of new mechanics. There's even like a dog.
Yeah, that dog. That's the first time they introduced that, and then the ice Pikmin.
Yeah, the ice Pikmin. I'm like, this looks super fun. I can't wait to get my hands on this.
See you, Muzan. Have a good one. There you go. You did it. Nice.
Yay! Took me a while. I was down there for a while trying to figure out, okay, what do I do?
Yeah, I played Pikmin 1, and at the time, I don't think I really got what I was supposed to be doing, so I was just throwing the Pikmin at everything to break it up, and then they'd get eaten by like that ladybug monster, and I'd be really sad, and I couldn't finish the level. I was like, I don't know if I want to do this to these Pikmin anymore. But it does look really cool. Nice. There you go.
Yeah.
Fragment. Just wanted to say thank you, Amy, for taking time out of your day to join us again to play some Hi-Fi Rush and raise some money for the Chids. We got to learn a lot more about you and like the things you like and how you don't eat fish, and there's so much
Yeah.
fish by you, which is a bummer. And we hope to see you around again soon.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks for having me. I'm would definitely be really happy to come stream again. Maybe next time I can stream Splatoon if multiplayer games are allowed to be streamed.
Yeah.
I'd be really happy to play one of the games that I put the most hours in.
Yeah, if we can hook it up, you can play it. And everybody have a great rest of your day and great weekend. See y'all later. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.